Hello, hello there. Sensei Victoria Whitfield here from naturalintuition.com. And this is your webinar on how to create a visionary life with Shamanic Journeying. And so this is the second time we're doing this webinar. I'm really excited to get to share this information with you because what I've seen in our tribe here, for those that have gone through this process, as well as in my own life, the results that you get from bringing shamanic journeying as a practice into your lifestyle, not just your personal life, but also into your business as well, can have really powerful and empowering results. So, get your tea, get a little bit of something to nosh to eat. We're going to get cozy for the next 45 minutes here and discuss what is a visionary life, right? And why we need one now, as well as how to start creating yours as soon as possible. And I know that there's going to be people jumping in and out on the webinar. This is going to be audio as well as video recorded. So if you're watching the video and you see someone might blip in and out, just be kind. It's the technology, right? But that's just abundance problems. We have so much love coming in and out because this is an open forum and I love having discussions around this. By the way, if you're watching the recording and you're curious to know more, please do. If it's commenting below or if you see it on Facebook, send me a PM, a private message, or just send me an email back at info@naturalintuition.com so we can get you more information that you're curious about. Why now? Why now? Why should you create a visionary life now rather than later on, like say in retirement, or wait for it to happen to you? Why are we looking for a visionary life now? Well, in order to understand why it's important to happen now rather than later, is we first need to get what exactly does it mean to be visionary. What that means is that you are someone who has a clear image and alignment with that image, and you desire for that image to be your reality. So there's an image in particular. It is vision, right? You have a vision of what you want your future to look like, what you want your life to look like, what you want your business to look like, what brings you a sense of pleasure, fulfillment, contribution, groundedness, restfulness, effortless ease, as my dear friend Bailey Fruman says. Mwah, Bailey. Please go check her out at ownyourpowerbook.com. She's magnificent. So having a vision really is about having a guiding light that helps you organize your activities, organize your beliefs, organize your message, right? And organize how you communicate to others throughout your life. I'll be talking a lot more about how this can apply to your professional side of your life, but my goodness, the implications for personal development, not just professional, are really powerful applying shamanic journeying. By the way, the reason why I'm talking more about professional development is because, hello, we're talking about shamanic journeying. This is a meditative, visionary practice, right? For receiving guidance from your spirit guides directly, right? It cuts out the middleman. What in the heck are we doing? Applying that to business? What? Yeah, you really can. And oh man, it's so effective. It is so easy, and it is so life-changing. So when you have a vision, you have that roadmap, right? The destination is super clear, and all of your feelings, your decisions, and your communications align to that vision. Things happen faster when you know where you're going, right? I'm in New Jersey filming this right now and broadcasting. If I had to get to California, I'd need to know where California is, right? It's my dream to go to Cali, right? Go visit my dear love, Brianna Kavanaugh out in Oakland. By the way, blissyourmoney.com. She's amazing. If I wanted to go visit Brianna, I need to know where is Oakland, California. If I don't have a clear vision of where it is, I'm not going to know how to get there. Right? How is second to the vision. Right? Without the vision, how is not going to emerge for you. So what does this mean in our day-to-day lives? It's like, okay, that's very well and great, Victoria, right? Yeah, we got to know where California is. We can't get there unless we don't know where it is. Okay. What does that have to do with me? Especially, what does that have to do with me and my business? Without a vision for your life, right, and for the legacy of your work, your day-to-day will feel like it lacks meaning, will be draining, maybe even spiritually draining as well. We can get caught up in a career that starts to feel soul-sucking or pulled into the minutia, because without a vision, the way that we get a sense of momentum, because we don't have direction, right? The way that we'll feel a sense of momentum is by getting things done. I have my to-do list and I got this, and this done. Does it have to do with what where I'm going? I have no idea, but I did it. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you because I know what that's like. As a recovering type A personality who loves to get stuff done, there's nothing more satisfying than having that to-do list and saying "Ooh, I checked it off. Yes, I did it." There's the oxytocin that releases in our body of, I completed a task every time we go. And then we get a bit addicted, right, to that chemical burst where we're becoming task-oriented and minutia-oriented to feel like there's momentum happening versus being vision-oriented and the tasks following and building up the vision so we know we're going somewhere. What also can happen if you lack vision in life and in business is that you run out of time, right? There's this weird thing called time that we created. It doesn't really exist. Time doesn't really exist. But the less you have vision, the less time you'll have. Here's why. You'll spend, right? Imagine time is like a bank account. Maybe you only have $100 in that bank account. Got a little bit of time left. And with that bank account and those $100 that you have, you only have so much money, right, to spend on your necessities. Now, if you didn't know what your necessities are, you'd take that $100 and blow it, right, on the first thing that grabs your pleasure, right? And maybe you'll blow it on a nice dress or blow it on a nice meal. But what happened to the electricity in the house or rent, right? Or what happened to being able to have food for the week rather than one banging trip to an amazing restaurant. Sure, the experience is pleasurable. While you're going through it, you're super present to the details, right? Being super detail oriented. However, if we're in that, we won't have enough energy to last for the week, right? If it's the food example, blowing it all in one place versus having enough for later. If it's your vision to be taken care of, right, for the week, you will reorient that bank account to serve you for filling that week rather than just blowing it all in one space. The same thing applies to how you spend, not just your money, but also your time. Right? So time is a limited resource. And without vision, we end up, respectfully, wasting time. Why? Because we're doing all these yummy tasks, right? We're getting done all these yummy tasks, but are they really going towards something bigger than just doing more tasks? So why do you need to live a visionary life now? With all that being considered. All right, great. Thanks, Victoria. Now I feel like crap. It's like I've clicked play on this webinar, like the live stream is a recording, and now I'm like, yay, and oh, I thought we were going to talk about visionary life. We're getting there, right? But we need some realness, right, to help you ground first, and then we'll grow tall. It'll end up being more stable if you put your roots down first. Just saying. So with that, you need to live a visionary life now because you clicked on this video because this is your situation. You're stuck in the minutia. Time for yourself, time to feel fulfilled, time for your health, for your loved ones, or for even contributing in an abundant, soul-filling way. Time for all of that is, if you've got any, it's at an all-time low. Right. So living a visionary life is having a life that's oriented towards your alignment, your image for what fills you up and gives you a sense of value and connectedness to life. Feeling open and supported, abundant and connected, right? Determining what's your vision. By the way, I'm saying your with emphasis. I wonder why. So, a lot of times when we want to live a life that's really filled with meaning or has direction to it. Okay, yeah, I'm searching. Right? We go into our spiritual seeker mode, yes, and we look for something to be a part of. A visionary life is your vision. Right now, okay, maybe you're not necessarily directionless, but you may be enacting someone else's vision, right? Where you join a company that you love the sound of what their mission, vision, values is. You like the way the place looks, right? Image. You can see yourself there, and the career track within that company speaks to you at that point in time. And so you enact then their vision. And then maybe over the years, it starts to get a little old because your energy continues growing, right? Honoring that. Or perhaps you started your business basically because you wanted to be free from that. Oh, God, as if having a business is easier than working for someone else. You got to work at least twice as hard, if not 5 times as hard, because, well, that's another webinar. We'll get into that. But stay with me here. Maybe you started your business with a desire of, I want to be free from someone else's vision for my life, and I'm going to do something. Yay, doing something. So I'll start a business. Oh, someone's going to give me money for this thing that I do. Okay, that's easy. Or, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. And, oh, I found another someone who can give me money for this thing I do. And then another and another and another until you don't even know if you really like this thing that you do. But there's all this momentum behind getting money for this thing that you do that eventually money, just like time, they're together. As it goes up, your time starts to squish if you're not able to shift with the season of your business. So there's a certain point that you reach where money may be at an all-time high, but time freedom, right? You might have financial freedom at an all-time high, but your financial freedom is at your temporal, right? Freedom is at an all-time low, where you're chained to your desk. Or what used to fill you up and be awesome and cool and novel at first in your business. Oh, I was so excited about this technology that I'm selling. Or, oh, I was so into, like if you're a spiritual healer, doing this energy work technique on everybody and all the time and blah, blah, blah. After a few years, things get a little stale. But there's all this momentum behind getting money and significance and recognition, right, for it. And so we go back into spiritual seeking mode, at this point necessitated by the stress of the environment. Does this sound familiar? Yes, no, maybe so? Right. Be kind to yourself if you're at that crossroads. You know, maybe you're at the first one, but chances are, if you're watching this video right now, you're at the second. And it may not even be in your business. For the non-business model, it may look like, all right, so I want to be a mom, right? We're gonna entrepreneur. We're gonna start the motherhoodness, and then after a while, you're like, oh, I'm tired. These kids are driving me crazy, and that's another level of the experience. And then they get older, and then they leave the house, and there's no one around calling you mom anymore other than you, right? The identity shift there. What's your vision? When you're in that state of transition, it's important to find out and realign with what is your vision. So why now? Because this is your now. It's time. By the way, not only are you ready for a visionary life now and to receive what's your unique alignment, not anybody else's version of what your alignment is. Not only are you ready for that, but also there's an even bigger reason than that. Sure, you feel it. Okay, you might be nodding your head like, yeah, I get it, Victoria. I'm with you. I want to have a sense of purpose, right? And a sense of direction in my life. But guess what? Your visionary life, I'd bet $5 doesn't just affect you. Right? And I'm talking a visionary life. Let's say, travel the world, helping people in need, creating beautiful art, or innovating on this issue, or just enjoying time, deep quality time with your family, etc. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. In fact, the more visionary your life becomes, the more people you will affect, especially in a positive way. So my guides are really giving me the push to tell you, we need you. We need you. to live a visionary life. Now, get your act together, darling, because we need you. The earth needs your support. You know, there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of directionlessness going around, a lot of worry, negativity, division, and fear out there. And it's there's really great marketing for all of that side to life. There's plenty of coverage around fear, division, violence, or confusion, etc. There's plenty of coverage of that. But we need someone like you to step fully into their visionary life and shine brightly, become visible at it, so that we're not just hearing about all of the crusty crap, but instead we're hearing about someone who had a vision and made it happen, right? And walked brilliantly into it. So that will not only heal your life, having the courage to go for your vision, but it'll also have a ripple effect positively on all the people that are within your sphere of influence. Love to see you do this and shine brightly. Okay, so let's get to this. What exactly is a visionary life? Like, are there components to it? I sincerely believe there are 3 necessary pillars, right? If you think of a stool, in order for it to at least be stable, this is my knee, and standing, you gotta have at least 3 legs on that stool. And so my guides have shown me 3 pillars to creating a visionary life. The first one, I'm looking over here at my notes, if you wonder where are her eyes going, is natural intuition cultivation. Natural intuition cultivation is the very first pillar in creating a visionary life. So what that means is essentially learning how to see and communicate with the world around you fully, not just with your 5 senses. So was that sight, sound, taste, touch, smell? Yeah. Experts say that we actually have more like 16 to 23 regular physical senses in our bodies, rather than just 5. So just to give you an idea of it, one of them is thermoception. So it's the ability to sense heat, thermoception. Proprioception, which is the ability to tell where your limbs are in space, right? So being able to tell that your head is above your feet. Proprioception is a sense. So there are other senses above the 5, of 16 to 23 from what I remember. And side note, the ancient Egyptians believe we had over 300. Yeah. But with that, so we're used to experiencing our lives, and we're taught to experience our lives through the 5 senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. And some of us will even cultivate the ability to use those senses. So someone who is like a really great chef or a sommelier, someone who's a really good bartender, will improve their sense of smell and taste so much that they're able to communicate intuitively with smell and taste, and be able to communicate with others through smell and taste, to convey a feeling, etc., as well as receive the story through the smell and taste of what they're bringing in, and then remember it. So that takes cultivation. So they're more in a deeper relationship with those 2 senses. And then for someone who cultivates their sight, right? So they get a really good eye, perhaps for art and design, spatial relations, right? They have a really good eye, or they become very perceptive. Instead of with art necessarily, it could be with the body. They'll visually be able to pick up structural imbalances in the body. It takes time to cultivate that. It takes time and practice seeing a lot of bodies. Like I think of Patrick LaRouge from livepainfreeprocess.com. Awesome, incredibly talented body worker and intuitive healer. And he can just tell from seeing a person what's going on, because he's just been in so much practice, deep practice for years and years with his visual sense, right? He's seen so many bodies and he's worked on them. So there's that. And then sound, right? So cultivating and practicing, understanding sound, so that when you hear a person play the drums a certain way versus another person play the drums, you'd be able to pick up on what part of the world they come from, right? Because there's the Afro-Cuban beat, and then there's samba, and then there's playing marcato, like very, marching band, all of that, from listening to how they play a certain instrument and then practicing over time. You better learn how to communicate. My father is a prolific pianist, and I remember growing up, I grew up in a musical family, and he would always say, baby, you can really tell that someone's good, is a good musician, because they make their instrument talk to you. Yeah. So that for me, that's the definition of mastery, of that sense, right? Where there's communication, expression that is released from the person who has the sense, right? Or is the expressor. And then the person on the other end, the listener, is able to receive the communication there. It's really powerful. But that takes time, right? And that takes a tremendous amount of practice to be able to develop the ability to communicate in that way, using that sense of hearing, right? So what about your intuitive sense? What are you doing regularly to cultivate your natural intuition? All right, for some of us, that awakens as what we call the empathic sense. So what being empathic means is you're simply able to pick up on emotional data or information. I call it data because I love to codify things. That's the nerd in me. But anyway, you're able to pick up on ambient emotional information, or bits of information, emotional information, without any of the five senses informing you about that emotion. So without sight, sound, taste, touch, or smell, you can still pick up on an emotion that someone or some space or something is emanating, right? The empathic sense. So although you maybe this has happened to you, you've been waiting online at the grocery store, and although you can't see the person behind you and they're standing still, there's like this wall of kinetic feeling that they're just radiating. Maybe it's just their big presence, maybe it's their radiant grief, or maybe it's their radiant impatience that's just, but you can't see, taste, touch, smell, or hear them. It's just this radiant feeling that's coming through in the empathic sense. A lot of people call that getting vibes, right? But that's just the empathic sense. What are you doing, though, to cultivate that? So before I was just talking about how in all the other five senses, there are people who have taken time to cultivate theirs on a regular basis, right? Or what about your clairvoyance, your ability to see clearly in a non-physical sight way, right? What are you doing regularly to cultivate that naturally? It's important to have that regular practice in living a visionary life, because you have to be able to be receptive to your vision in the first place, right? You got to be able to see it and experience it and feel it in order to be aligned with your unique vision. I'm going to keep putting emphasis on yours, because if you clicked play, it's chances are you're not clear on what your unique vision is. That's why you're doing things that are wasting your time, or you feel like you don't have any time these days, right? There's not enough time in the day, etc. As well as you're not clear on what's your message or what's your purpose, or when someone asks you, what do you do? It's a common entrepreneurial problem, no? Right? Where we're, okay, personal branding. What am I doing? Oh my gosh. Did you know they're like asking kids about personal branding? I was just talking to my nephew the other day. I have a writing assignment where I have to talk about my personal brand. Can you help me out, Victoria? Yes. Part of me ethically is like, why the heck at 16 years old you're talking about having a personal brand? But anyway, if there's anyone that has a brand channel within your sphere, my love, it would be me. Mwah, Georgie, I love you. So that's the first of the 3 pillars. The second one is the regular exploration of spiritual energetics, right? These go hand in hand. What the heck is that? Spiritual energetics, like that sounds scientific, or spiritual scientific. What's that, Victoria? So what that means in particular is that you regularly learn more about energy work. Energetics is simply the study of how things work. So energetics, it's just how energy moves through a system. If you were to check that definition out on Google, it's how energy moves through systems, how to harness energy, etc. I'm talking about spiritual energetics. So this is non-physical energy. It could be emotional energetics, right? It could be mental energetics, could be even financial energetics, how the energy of money moves spiritually. Yeah, abundance manifesting is a form of spiritual energetics study, right? And it's the regular exploration of it where you try new things. Why is that important to living a visionary life? Well, in order to do that, when we experience more and understand more about spiritual energetics, your ability to have resources to create that visionary life increases. And your ability to recognize and move those resources on behalf of your alignment, right? Your alignment, your ability to do that increases because you have the strategy as well as the experiences, which are confidence, that put you in a position to make that vision very real, to allow it to flow through you. The mechanics of manifestation are taking that which is immaterial and bringing it down through that from the vision to reality into the material world. That's what manifestation is. And the regular exploration of spiritual energetics creates and builds a more concrete path to allow for that to happen. allow, not force, not or push, or turn, do the hokey pokey and turn yourself around in order to make it happen. No, allow for that to happen. And that's what happens the more you study forms of energy work, which would be like Reiki or Jinsen Jitsu or craniosacral therapy, biodynamic craniosacral therapy, body talk, like all crystal healing, all the energy therapies would fall underneath the umbrella of spiritual energetics. Homeopathy even, absolutely. Right? So that's the second pillar that's necessary for living a visionary life, right? Building the bridge between the vision and reality through the regular exploration of spiritual energetics. And then lastly, the third pillar of a visionary life is divine feminine community. In a word, people. Yeah, people. People who get it. And that's why my guides told me it's divine feminine community in particular. Divine feminine community really honors communal wisdom, collaboration, stays curious, values the questions more than the answers, fosters openness, safety, sharing, right? Radical generosity, divine feminine, nurturing, right? Incubatory, right? The collective consciousness is the divine feminine, and also allows for openness and vulnerability, radiance, right? Radiant joy and radiant emotion, radiant expression. All these aspects of the divine feminine. We want that in your community, not things being so regimented that your creative point of view is squashed. No, we want a community that allows more of your alignment with your vision to come out, rather than saying, no, you got to put your alignment aside and align to us. No, right? We want to take that more Aquarian point of view that says your alignment and my alignment can coexist. No problem. Diversity is beautiful, right? And the more you understand people and understand how to live in communion and community, right? Co-creating together, the faster that vision grounds. I'm a living witness to that. I mean, my God, what I've created within the last 3 years of my life. I didn't even dream of that before. This is amazing to now know people from all over the world who love, honor, respect, and feel me like as like close friends, or even just like family. I could go hang out with them anytime. To only do what I love through my work and be abundantly supported because of that. To have a team supporting me, not only in my business, but also at home. Just people coming into my life who are so magical that I just have to call them goddess or call them unicorns. It's just surrounded by goddesses and unicorns all the time. I mean, I didn't even dream of this. It's like better than my dreams, because my vision, I'm so aligned with it. I have a crystal clear vision that I see every single time I vision journey, right? So here's the thing. How to get started living a visionary life is, one, you got to get super clear on what your vision is. Now, I'm not one of those people who's going to say, all right, I need you to take out your papers, right? and right where you want to be in 10 years from now, right where you want to be in 5 years from now, right where you want to be in 3 years from now, right where you want to be in 1 year from now, and right where you want to be 6 months from now, and then where you want to be in next month. Now do that. I pay good money to be coached by people who do that. So it's not like I don't respect that as a practice, but is that me and what I provide through my work here at the dojo and through the Institute of Natural Intuition? No, I take a little bit of a different approach now. I know I have the title of sensei. That simply just means I've studied to a certain level in Reiki. That doesn't mean I'm somebody's master or better than you. I know that I practice shamanic journeying, but that does not mean that I am a shaman, right? That means I'm on the shamanic path. That's a huge difference. So for the record, I just want to give this little disclaimer. Please don't address me as sensei unless I've attuned you, because that doesn't feel good to me. And please don't call me a shaman, because that doesn't feel good either. I'm on the shamanic path. And what that means is I practice every single day, shamanism as a way of life, right? Specifically, shamanic journeying, which is a meditative practice of going into like, I'll just describe it to you now. What the heck is shamanic journeying, Victoria? It's the meditative practice of going into, a light, relaxed state, maybe a light trance even. And then it's like you're Alice in Wonderland, where you journey to another world where everything talks and is, in fact, ambassadors of the cosmic consciousness who are there specifically to help and inform you. So you just go, and it's like ancient Google style. You have I got my questions. All right, I'm gonna go journey on it. All right, journey, please take me to someone who can handle this. All right, hi, what's your name? Tells me your name. Maybe I'm speaking to an acorn, right? The acorn's talking to me. I'm like, okay, hi, Bill the acorn. Can you help me? What do I need to do today to move my business forward, Bill? Bill will say, great. Is there anything else that I need to know right now? Blah, blah, blah. Fantastic. By the way, can you tell me what's the name of my program? Sure. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. How about this? Bill, can you tell me where to find my first $50,000 client? Yeah. Or who do I need to talk to? Talk to this person. It's immediate feedback. Shamanic journeying. That's why I and my students, we call it the spiritual Google practice. And what's great about shamanic journeying is that it's a visionary meditative practice for generating certainty. Certainty. What's that? That means you know what you know. You know that you know that you know. You are absolutely certain. You know exactly what to do. You know exactly what to say. You know exactly what comes next. It's a visionary meditative practice for generating certainty. Why is this awesome? One, the experience itself is healing for your body. You have to be relaxed in order to go into a shamanic journey. You're surrounded by encouraging, empowering, supportive consciousness. And then by design, in the practice of shamanic journeying, you have to ask in order to receive. You get in so much practice learning how to ask for more. And guess what? I've been doing shamanic journeying probably since 2012. It's now 2017. So I've been doing it for 5 years straight, like no interruption. I've been practicing this every day. So it's not like, oh yeah, I learned and then I stopped doing it. No. Like my practice has only gotten deeper with time. And the ability to know exactly what my next step is, right? And to feel absolutely certain has created a level of confidence, direction, and effectiveness in me that I've never had personally in my life beforehand. And the results show in my business now. Last year, I went on tour, launched my first book. Now I'm got my team. We're going, like last year was a national tour. This year's a world tour. I have my own wonderful office space. I have people who support me here locally as well as virtually. And then on top of that, abroad, just like wonderful. I now know hundreds of businesses personally, right? Because now I'm connected to hundreds of entrepreneurs, and by extension now I know thousands of people who are ready to support me. It's just like I've regular 5-figure months at the timing of this video, right? But this is only the beginning. This is before I launch. I'm barely getting started, right? Some of you will watch it. Well, I've been in business for like 20, 25 years, 30 years or so. There's like 5 years. Are you kidding me? You're a baby. Yeah. Only getting started. And I'm saying this not to gloat and say like I'm the answer. No. Everything that I do, you can do it too. This is a regular daily practice. But what makes it different is that it's a regular daily practice. Structure is powerful energy work. And when you work consistency into the structure of your day, right, things change and fast. So I would love to get the ability to share more about vision journeying with you. This is now all I do in my business. I host the Visionary Shaman Circle, which is an international group of entrepreneurs who really want to live a life and business that is vision guided, right? So they're absolutely certain and clear that what they're doing is totally aligned to their unique vision and path, right? And they want to be surrounded by other people who are excited and overjoyed to do the same. I'd love for you to join us. Please, if you are interested, I am so excited to continue this intimate conversation with you, right? And one-on-one, if you want to send me a PM on Facebook, a private message, or send me an email at info@naturalintuition.com so that I can talk to you a little bit more. We'll set up a time to maybe hop on Skype or on the phone so you can share your story with me and what's your vision. Okay? So I'm going to continue doing these webinars and info sessions. I love sharing about the shamanic journey process. It never gets old. In fact, it gets more exciting and more interesting with time. I mean, I love it. I was taught by a gentleman named John Ford, who was trained by Michael Harner. Right? And he, oh my gosh, when he taught me, he's like, I've been shamanic journeying and teaching shamanic journeying for over 40 years. He was this like little guy, looked like a gnome and had a hat shaped like an eggplant. I love it. I love it so much. Oh my God, John Ford's amazing. And when I first learned how to journey, I was like, what in the world? I don't know what this is. Let me try it. And I wasn't very successful the first few times that I tried. I was just ended up, my mind was going crazy and I was tumbling in the dark, basically in my head. But I got the hang of it finally. And from there, never turned back. Never turned back. I mean, now it's at the point where I am able to be in physical reality, like, and engaging with you, and in shamanic reality simultaneously. There's no real difference. You notice that there's actually no real difference between the two over time. It's beautiful, and it's super empowering. I would love to get to share this practice with you. Send me a message, right, at info@naturalintuition.com, so that we're able to set something up. I would love to get to share, for you to get to share your story with me, and we can go from there. I am sending you so much love, and hope to see you on the next webinar about how to create a visionary life with shamanic journeying. Send me what you think. What were your main takeaways, by the way? What did you get from this video? Send me an email back or send me a message, comment below. I want to hear, what was your main takeaway? What were your aha moments? Did something really stand out to you? You're like, oh my God, Victoria, you're speaking directly to me. All right, I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you soon. All righty.